As you're probably aware, it is in a company's best interest to get as much money from you as they possibly can. And in the cutthroat world of capitalism, sometimes this means ripping you off. What follows in this video are some ways that you, yes, you in particular, have probably been ripped off by major companies.
Amazing!
Number 10. Starbucks used to underfill their drinks. Perhaps you, like many people, rely on the Seattle-based company Starbucks to supply you with the caffeine that will fuel you through at least the first 90 minutes of your day. Starbucks, however, seems hell-bent on giving you the smallest amount of coffee that they can legally get away with. After Starbucks was accused of underfilling their drinks in a class action complaint, their defense was that the cups they use are in fact large enough to hold the advertised volume of liquid, if filled completely. Starbucks attempted to have the lawsuit dismissed under the idea that a reasonable customer wouldn't care, but the judge disagreed. The lawsuit moved forward and is currently ongoing. Number 9. Mystery-flavored Dum Dums. The mystery-flavored Dum Dums have long been the subject of playground lore. What is it supposed to taste like? What is the actual flavor? Didn't Timmy say it was cauliflower or something weird like that? Will they ever make an official press announcement? Well, it turns out that the mystery flavor is just a result of them being too cheap to clean the machines. After being used to make one flavor, the machines become caked in candy ingredients. Rather than do something crazy like, pay someone money to clean it, they decided to just keep them running and start on a new flavor. The old mixes with the leftovers, and behold, a mystery is born. Number 8. Restaurants use thick glasses to serve less beer. The price of alcohol in restaurants and bars has increased, but the size of the glass has decreased. Why haven't you noticed? Where is the outrage? Surely both casual social drinkers and die-hard alcoholics alike should be protesting in the streets. Restaurants have avoided the scandal by making it really hard for anyone to really notice the difference. Sometimes 14-ounce glasses are used instead of 16-ounce ones. Also, beers are served with more foam. Glasses have thicker bottoms so that they weigh the same in your hand, but hold less. In the state of Maine, there was even a bill called the Honest Pint Bill, drafted in 2015 in order to put a stop to this beer manipulation. It was vetoed by the governor, who instead told citizens to simply not visit bars and restaurants that they felt were shortchanging them. The UK suffers the same problem, where a legal investigation discovered that 2/3 of pubs visited have underfilled their pints. Number 7. Chips and ice cream are full of air. Everyone knows the crushing disappointment of opening up a seemingly massive bag of chips, only to discover that it's barely half full. This classic ripoff is defended by the chip companies on the basis that you really pay by the ounce, so technically you aren't being upcharged. However, everyone knows really that the oversized bag is deceptive. What you probably didn't know, however, is that ice cream companies actually do the very same thing. They don't underfill tubs. In fact, they've gone one step beyond and managed to put the air directly into the ice cream itself. Ice cream does require some air, 25% in fact, in order to not just be solid ice. Ice cream companies like Breyers realized that air was free, and so they started putting in way more air than was necessary. So now, when you buy their 1.5 quart of vanilla fudge swirl, for instance, you're essentially paying for a lot of expensive air. It's gotten so bad that some cartons of ice cream, could they be condensed back down to only 25% air, would actually have double the amount of ice cream. Number 6. Organic food isn't healthier. Ask someone who buys organic food why they buy it, and they'll probably tell you that it's because it's healthier. Because organic foods are grown without chemical fertilizer and pesticides, and are fresher upon arriving to the grocery store. They're better for your body, right? I mean, do you want to eat chemical fertilizer and pesticides? Well, in reality, it's fine to just eat regular food. Researchers at Stanford University examined 250 studies that were done about the difference between organic and non-organic foods, and discovered that they had very little difference in nutritional content. So, although organic food is sold at a higher price, it offers essentially no advantage over conventional food. Number 5. Expiration dates are not scientific or legal. Unless you hunt and gather your food from the nearby woods, you store food in your house and are an unwilling slave to expiration dates. At some point, you have thrown out food and felt guilty about it. If only you had seen this video before you had done that. You would have known that in reality, expiration dates have nothing to do with safety, but are in fact correlated only to the vague notion of optimum freshness, because of course, food does go bad eventually. There is no legal requirements for expiration dates in the US, so use your nose to determine whether or not something has really gone bad. Or not. Number 4. Grocery stores plump meat. Meat is priced based on weight. Everyone understands that some of this weight is stuff that you aren't going to eat, like bones and fat. But the majority is pure meaty goodness, and it would cost more if they had to pay someone else to debone it anyway. Well, actually, the rest is pure meaty goodness and unnecessary water. Companies plump meat by injecting it with water, making it look fuller, supposedly taste juicier, and making it weigh more. A chicken bought at a grocery store could be up to 30% water weight, meaning that you're paying a lot more than you should be. Number 3. Premium gas is a scam. Perhaps at some point in your life, you've actually bought premium gasoline in order to clean out the gunk in your car, help out the engine, or something else that sounds solidly mechanic-like. However, you have most likely wasted your money. Unless your car specifically requires high-octane gasoline, there's no point in putting it into your car. In reality, modern engines are so efficient that they just don't require specialty gas. Years ago, premium gasoline actually contained detergents to fight against carbon buildup, so drivers would occasionally run some through. However, nowadays, due to environmental regulations, even standard gasoline has plenty of additives that protect your engine. The people who actually do need premium gas are people who own luxury cars, because those are the cars that have high compression engines. If that isn't you, your engine won't actually get any benefit. Stick with what your car's manual says you need and save yourself some money. Number 2. Airline websites check your browser history. Oh shit. If you've been on a flight recently, and that's a pretty liberal use of the term recently, chances are you bought your tickets online. How did people even buy airline tickets before the internet? Historians say that prior to the internet, you had to personally know the Wright brothers and just ask them for a ride. But while the internet makes buying airline tickets convenient, it also allows companies to upcharge you. They do this by monitoring your browse history and cookies, and then using algorithms to detect how much you're really interested in the ticket and how much you really need it. So the bad news is that you've probably paid more than you needed to for tickets, but the good news is that it's still a ripoff you can avoid. Just make sure to clear your cookies in browser next time you go on the airline site. Number 1. Diamonds shouldn't be expensive. Ask yourself right now, why is it that diamonds are so expensive? If you're like most people, you probably think it's because they're beautiful, but mostly because they're just so darn rare, just like in Minecraft. This was actually the case about 100 years ago, when diamonds could only be found in select places around the world, and getting there wasn't as easy as it would be now. But then massive diamond deposits were discovered, many of which were in Africa, and so pretty soon, diamonds weren't rare in the slightest. Diamond companies were in serious risk of having their product become severely devalued. How did they avoid this? By forming an international monopoly called De Beers that collectively agreed to keep prices high, limit mining, and buy up all the other diamonds and stockpile them. This strategy is highly illegal, and De Beers pleaded guilty to charges of price fixing in 2004 so that they could re-enter the US market. What other companies could be ripping you off without your knowledge? Or perhaps the better question, how can you find solutions to beat them and get your money's worth? Let me know what you think in the comments. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a like and click that bell icon to be notified next time we post a video. Thanks for watching.